Run Wild here. I am coming at you guys with an Astroforecast today. I'm currently driving, so I have both my hands on the wheel, and you're on like this little like thing in my window, so I'm driving safely. And I have ADHD, so multitasking honestly makes me focus better. That might not make sense to some people, but if you have ADHD, you'll get it. So anyways, I'm coming at you guys with a little astro forecast, and I'm wondering how you guys are doing. There are some interesting things I was teaching in my apprenticeship last night, and all of my students were like, why can't I sleep? And it finally registered for me this morning. It's because Mars is coming up into its exaction opposite Neptune retrograde. And so Mars is currently at 21 degrees of Virgo, and it is working its way to an exact opposition to 22 degrees of Neptune retrograde, which will be tomorrow. That's some pretty gnarly energy, right? So the access points of Pisces and Virgo are healing, but Mars is definitely not in its strength opposing Pisces, right? Pisces just has lots of feelings and it wants to cry, and it is very like assertive or aggressively, even depending on your situation, forcing, like Mars, right? Forcing the unconscious, which is Pisces and Neptune, to be seen and dealt with and helped. Virgo, Mars and Virgo, right? Let me help you, with an aggressive aspect to it, right? So not only that, but today the moon moved into Cancer, and Mercury is at 3 degrees of Libra, so we've got some cardinal sign action. Sorry, I had a phone call coming through. So early this morning, the Mercury in Libra was in a square to the moon in Cancer. And this is interesting because something about a home environment, something about potentially a mother wound, something about a possible Cancer or a Libra in your life, but there's obviously an aspect of relationship that's going on because Mercury is in Libra, forcing us to communicate about the kinds of relationships that we're in. Now, what's interesting is that, Venus is moving quick through Libra, but last weekend she opposed Chiron retrograde in Aries at 12 degrees. That was, I think, Friday night. And man, I have heard some crazy reports of the intensity of those wounds coming up, like especially childhood wounds coming up. Now, where it's getting interesting is that, the whole thing is interesting. 2021 is just, 2020 through 2024 is insane. It just is. But, this Mars opposite Neptune retrograde brings up anxiety. It can bring up feelings of depression and worthlessness, mental health related issues. Mars in Virgo says it's time to get help, right? And not like some metaphysical type help. It's like holistic care, right? Virgo is very much about organizational health, systems of care, and the fact that Neptune is a part of it means that hospitals, even, it could be time to get like medical help. Like if you're like struggling and you've been wondering, like, do I need to have a psychological health evaluation, and you're kind of breaking under this energy, probably yeah. And it could be very supportive to you. With Mars and Virgo, it also means, are you going to bed early? Are you drinking water? Are you eating healthy food? Are you eating a bunch of shit? Are you moving your body, right? So it's like kind of forcing all of these unseen, unconscious issues that we usually let slide are not sliding right now, right? And it's like we need to take care of ourselves. Now the thing is that, Mars is a fire sign and Neptune in Pisces is the ocean, right? And so it can be put out, we could escape it. For some, escaping is perfect. It's just how long is that escape going to last? But that escape energy could be very strong. The take action energy could be really strong. It's all choice. It's what's up to you. It's up to you. And not in that like weird, like underground kind of like, well, it's up to you, but I hope you do this thing. It's not that. You know, this could easily be a situation where the most healthy thing could be getting through it and binge watching a TV show that makes you feel good and eating what you need to eat, to mindfully dissociate is what we call it in DBT, long enough to get through the challenge and then create a plan of health afterwards, right? A plan of action. But the point is that with the Chiron aspect and then with this Neptune opposition, there's a demand, literally like an assertive demand for healing of the self, right? With the sun moving into Libra soon, it is going to be interesting. Not the sun. With the new moon in Virgo coming up relatively soon, it's also going to bring a deeper aspect of how can we take care of ourselves? How can we create systems? How can we create routines of health? How can we support ourselves? You know, you want to look to where Virgo is in your natal chart, because that will definitely tell you where you crave routine and systems and like a sense of ground and a sense of slowness and practicality and organization above all things, right? And if you don't, you could feel very frazzled and could start to develop some OCD complexes subconsciously to try to find order in whatever way you can. But Virgo season requires us to take responsibility for our health, right? So there's that. The new moon in Virgo will be on September the 6th, and it's going to be an interesting one. I will do a post on that. That's its own thing. And then we're going to have a full moon in Pisces. So like, I feel like we're getting a little bit of what's to come, because right smack dab in the middle of that is also going to be Mercury retrograde in Libra. So Mercury is going to enter its shadow period on Monday at the same time as the new moon. So you really want to pay attention to the shadow period. It will start to herald you to let you know what your Mercury retrograde is going to be about. You can also look at your natal chart at 25 to 10 degrees of Libra, because that's where it's going to transpire. We will hit the shadow on Monday. We won't be fully out of Mercury retrograde's influence until November 3rd, okay? Like, we'll be all out of the shadow, everything. Mercury retrograde is from September the 26th if you're Pacific Standard Time, and it is the 27th if you're Eastern Standard Time, until October 18th, all right? So when it's in Libra, it is going to force us to revise some relationships, right? And to need to communicate relationships, because that's what it's all about. Now, what's interesting about it is that last year when we had Mars retrograde in Aries, the opposition, the axis is Aries and Libra, is that the same degrees are going to go down for Libra in Mercury retrograde. So we might even get a touchback to some relationships that might have been affected last year during Mars retrograde. So I think that that's going to be an interesting thing. But the overall message that I would say is that, you know, Mars opposite Neptune really wants you to like do something now. It is not patient. It is not calm. It is like anxious and definitely needs a lot of support. You're gonna have to tell that part of yourself to calm down, okay? All right, well, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Let me know what's going on for you, and I will check in with you later. Okay, bye.